Welcome back, true believers and all you wonderful Wolverine fans out there, to my very first ever episode of Marvel's Wolverine 101. And man, does it feel good to say that. For those of you who have been around the channel for quite some time now, or if this may be your very first video of mine that you're watching, my 101 series is pretty much your one-stop shop to know absolutely anything and everything about any and all upcoming superhero games. But this time around, we're finally going to be diving into all the brand new official information that was revealed from the latest PlayStation State of Play presentation, completely ending the show with a bang with the one and only Marvel's Wolverine. And trust me when I say that there was a whole lot more information revealed about this game shortly after the PlayStation State of Play concluded. So if you're beyond hyped for Marvel's Wolverine like I am, then definitely be sure to thwip that like button and subscribe to the channel for even more Marvel games and 101 videos like this down the line. So to kick things off with a recent post from PlayStation themselves is that we have razor-sharp adamantium claws and untamed berserker rage. Marvel's Wolverine taps into Logan's brutal spin on heroism. First details on its ferocious combat, where by being bold, resilient, and volatile, Wolverine is a character that all of us at Insomniac are thrilled to explore in collaboration with our friends at Marvel Games and Sony Interactive Entertainment. Like our Marvel Spider-Man franchise, we're once again combining our superpowers to deliver an original take on a beloved character based on Marvel Comics. And like we briefly saw during the behind-the-scenes trailer, is that our Wolverine, aka Logan, is played by actor Liam McIntyre, who taps into the rage, pain, and nuances of this iconic character. In this story, he is on the hunt to uncover the secrets of a dark past that keeps eluding him. Unfortunately, in this world, he'll have to dig his claws deep to pull any shred of information that may lead to answers. Often, that means shredding into a relentless onslaught of enemies who aim to stop him by any means necessary. Fueled by unflinching resilience and a rapid healing factor, Wolverine won't go down easy if it means keeping the mission on task. Logan is the quintessential reluctant hero, haunted by the consequences of unleashing the beast within. Once the claws come out, Wolverine doesn't hold back. As a living weapon forged against his will, he'll use razor-sharp adamantium to dispatch enemies and untamed berserker rage to build momentum on the battlefield. He'll leave an impression on his foes with fast, fluid, and rapid attacks and techniques that'll dismember or break anyone who gets in his way. Wolverine might be distant, but he isn't afraid to get up close and personal when it counts. So right off the bat, if you are a die-hard fan of the character of Wolverine through and through, then all of this information is surely sounding like music to your ears, especially considering how much of a phenomenal job Insomniac has done with each of their previous Spider-Man games, not only creating what I personally believe to be one of the best interpretations of Peter Parker ever made, but also crafting extremely enjoyable and in-depth gameplay mechanics that really showcases the true spirit of what it means to be that character. And based on everything that I've read so far, it definitely sounds like that Wolverine is headed in the right direction. But in case you're someone who is still wondering exactly what type of rating Marvel's Wolverine was going to receive, we do have official confirmation from the head of technology at Insomniac Games himself, of Mike Fitzgerald, directly stating that Marvel's Wolverine will indeed be rated M. Whereas he went on to reveal in a post is that I've been making games for a while now, but this is my first M-rated one. It's been kinda fun. And yeah, for any future video game developers out there, the first step that you need to make when creating a standalone Wolverine game is that you 110% need to make the game rated M. And knowing that Marvel in particular is allowing Insomniac to completely dive as deep as possible, which will hopefully provide some incredibly layered storytelling for Wolverine and his character, as well as making the combat system as brutal and violent violent as it could possibly be. And to reference what the article mentions about us building momentum during combat as well as releasing untamed berserker rage, I do think that's safe to say for a character like Wolverine may end up having some type of rage mode ability within the game's combat system. And if it's anything like what we already saw from Black Suit Spider-Man in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, then Wolverine's overall combat mechanics are going to be straight up savage.
Where is he? Where is Spider-Man? Find him yourself! Stay focused! Tell me where he is! Tell me!
But to continue with the article is that independence is often the way of Wolverine, although keen-eyed fans may have spotted some of the familiar faces he'll encounter on his journey, like the elusive Mystique or the brutish Omega Red. Some will fight alongside Logan against all odds, and others will unleash all-out attacks on our hero, such as the Reavers, one of our enemy factions, who will keep our hero's instincts on edge. Speaking of which, our trailer concludes with a prototype of an iconic yet menacing purple robot, which, in case you don't know, that giant purple robot is a mean, lean, mutant-killing machine known as a Sentinel. But what's more interesting is that this is merely a prototype of what a full-blown, completely developed Sentinel could be like, which may imply that we're not only going to be a bit early within the career of Wolverine, but like certain statements from reliable gaming industry insiders may have predicted, is that this story within Marvel's Wolverine may take place before Logan joins the X-Men. Even though we do see certain mutants like Mystique within this game, I don't think that this game's final boss is going to be a character who is more aligned with that of being a bigger threat to the X-Men team rather than Wolverine as an individual character. So no, I don't think that an S-tier level mutant like Magneto will appear at any point during this game. But fun fact is that I actually made a video quite a few years ago going over the top 5 villains I think that we need to see be featured within Marvel's Wolverine. And as it so happens, Omega Red was in fact one of them. So if you want to check that video out, definitely make sure to click the link in the description. And seeing how much feedback Insomniac incorporated, ranging from what we initially saw with their first Spider-Man outing with Spider-Man PS4 in 2018, to then receiving the official sequel to that game of Marvel's Spider-Man 2 in 2023, the boss fights in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 are pretty much night and day when looking back at Spider-Man PS4, introducing different stages and layers to each sequence within the boss fight, as well as making their movements a bit harder to predict and their attacks much stronger, on top of the fact that Insomniac also added a parry button to make the combat feel much more dynamic. So taking all the important lessons that they learned from the success of Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and going on to apply that for a character like Wolverine and his respective bosses is surely going to be one of this game's biggest highlights.
Let us make this a glorious ending! You destroyed my city! Took the lives of so many people! That was their fate, just as this is ours!
We were separated because of you.
That's so!
We know what's best for you, for everyone. We gave you everything you ever wanted, and you threw us away.
I should have been better! I'm so sorry!
Now moving on is that in this global thriller, Wolverine's search for answers will send him on perilous excursions to exotic locales, including the island nation of Madripoor, the frosted wilderness of Canada, and the narrow city streets of Tokyo, all potential battlegrounds for fierce, bloody, and destructive action. Furthermore is that Marvel's Wolverine is built built from the ground up for PlayStation 5 consoles. Injecting our superhero know-how into this new adventure, this is an original take on Logan and his iconic adamantium-centric skill set. That's a fancy way of saying claws. We aim to deliver the ultimate Wolverine fantasy built on Insomniac staples like fast, fluid, and ferocious combat, exhilarating action-packed set pieces, robust accessibility features, and a gripping story that taps into the core tenets of one of the most compelling comic book characters of all time. We're breaking new ground with Wolverine. Yes, but our penchant for telling stories about heroes overcoming colossal odds is as strong as ever. We're eager to explore Logan's story with you, and tap into his signature spin on heroism, which is much darker and more brutal than you might expect from Insomniac. So again, literally music to my ears. It genuinely sounds like that Insomniac is going to go tooth and nail to make sure that this is going to be the most authentic Wolverine game we have ever received. Not only making the combat as ferocious as Wolverine should be, but also making an incredibly dark and mature story that primarily reflects all the humanity that encapsulates Logan's soul, which is also added on further thanks to the statement about us being able to explore different locales within the Marvel Universe. Because as it was expected for a character like Wolverine, is that this title is officially not going to be open world, or more specifically, is that we're not going to see one giant open world city to explore like we've seen from New York in the previous Spider-Man games, but rather is that we are going to see different types of locations that do relate to Logan's history, which will make for some rather engaging story moments and set pieces throughout the campaign. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some more mutant-related locations like that of Genosha appear at some point down the line, which already is going to make Wolverine feel completely different from the 3 previous open-world Spider-Man games that we've already received from Insomniac. And last but not least is that you can slice into all the action when Marvel's Wolverine launches on PlayStation 5 consoles in fall 2026. But we won't keep you in suspended anticipation. Keep your eyes peeled and your claws sharp for more information on Marvel's Wolverine PS5 in spring 2026. But if anything, is that this sounds like to me that we could see a fully dedicated PlayStation State of Play completely revolving around showcasing nothing but Marvel's Wolverine. Just like what we've seen in the past with other major upcoming games like Ghost of Yotei and even 007 First Light. And I for one am already dying to see more.
'Cause I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
In the end, everybody, this pretty much sounds like a Wolverine fan's dream come true. This not only looks like that it's easily going to surpass what was already previously known as the best Wolverine game ever made with X-Men Origins Wolverine, but if the combat is as fun as it is brutal, and if the story manages to deliver one of the best Wolverine-centric narratives of all time, Marvel's Wolverine could honestly end up being one of the best superhero games ever made. And until that time comes, there's only one thing left to say. In Insomniac, we trust. But with all that said, everybody, that's the video I have for all you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hyped are you for Marvel's Wolverine? And out of everything that we've already seen from this game, which element are you looking forward to the most? Would it be the story, the combat, the next-gen graphics, or anything else that may come to mind? Let me know what you think. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy, and for more Marvel Games videos like this in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay wonderful, Wolverine fans, and until next time, peace out.